It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Believe it. I missed everything.
Missed the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
If you missed it Wednesday morning, Kat's got this weird talent where if she just finds out what your first name is, she thinks she can tell you what you do for a living. And it actually played out pretty true this morning. If you missed that, you got to hear it in the podcast. Coming up in seconds. Let's go.
So I was running errands yesterday and I had to drop off a package at one of our sponsors' homes, and I know her well. And so I went in and she said, "Do you want a drink?" And I said, "Sure." I got a little time before I have to go pick up Liam. And so we just had a soda and sat on the couch, and I'm just hanging out. And I look over, and in her kitchen was a porta potty, like those mini little potties to train. And she has a 2-year-old. And she's been training him for like 6 months now. So that little toilet has been there for that long. And then it has
the kitchen.
It has a cute little chart, and it shows all the times. And he gets his stickers. Then above there's like this little candy jar. So he gets like a treat and stuff. So it's going well. She said, we're almost there. Sometimes, you know how they get lazy and they'll just stare at you while they poop. You know? She's like, sometimes they'll do that. And I'm like, you're right next to your toilet. What are you thinking? But I want to know, aside from the bathroom, did you keep the toilet? Was it something that would move room to room?
We were pretty conventional with all three of our kids. They all just went to the bathroom.
Yep.
And with the boys, we did the pee on the Cheerios. Mm-hmm. And with my daughter Reagan, I hung a Ziploc bag of Skittles on the wall.
Yep.
And she could take a couple of Skittles every time she did the do.
You know, I took some of those when I
The
babysat.
Skittles.
I was like, candy in the bathroom? I love that concept.
Katrina, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good.
We're great too. Thanks for asking. A little unconventional potty training method you had?
Yeah. Okay. So I had multiple little potties. I had one in the upstairs. I had 2 downstairs, and it was just because like I wanted her to get like the idea really quick. And she went like a year and a half.
Nice.
But I've noticed like my nephew and like with my friend's son.
Oh.
Boys take like 10 times longer than girls
Yeah.
to go to be potty trained, so I felt like they needed the mental cues of like where it was a lot more.
I'll tell you why the
than,
boys have a problem with this, and this is easy. They call it the Terry syndrome, and that's my father-in-law who taught my boys early that if you live out in the middle of nowhere, you can piss anywhere.
And that's exactly what Holly texted. She said, outside, the country life,
Yep.
LOL.
And so my boys, we lived in the city. Like when they were kind of really, really little, our house was crammed in a development where there was another house right next to you. And it took nothing for them to go see Grammy and Pops and then to come right back home and to just whiz right out in the middle of the front yard. They had no cares about it, man.
Yeah, but I think it has been proven by like psychologists that boys do take a little bit longer. Luckily, I had a kid that hated the smell and thought of poop on him. So he's like, I got to get it somewhere where it's clean and you can wipe me and
Well,
be
that's
done
like
with it.
my dad loves cigarettes. I hate cigarettes. Your son hates poop on him. Your husband loves it.
I know.
So it's that every other generation thing.
Truly.
That if you get into that habit. But, I mean, how many different potties do you think you had laying around at one time?
I had one that you could put on your toilet, and then I had like 2 that you could like that were her size that she could walk up to if she felt like she needed to go.
And it worked.
Convenience.
Did the
I like
trick.
it.
All right.
Hey, thanks, Katrina. Have a great morning.
Yep.
Take care. It's Carly, everybody. Hi, Carly. How you feeling?
Hi, good. How are you?
We're great. Thank you for asking. You got unconventional potties?
Not me, but when we were at the zoo over spring break, the people in front of us at the feeding the giraffe pulled out a potty for their son.
My God, was it like a
They were
Mary
potty
Poppins
training him
bag?
apparently everywhere.
That's crazy.
What?
They have one of those baseball mom carts. Is that what they had?
I mean, I guess everything in it, just like popped it out, put a bag in it, did it in line, waiting to feed the giraffe.
And I get the notion of wanting to potty train your kid, but a part of me, don't you feel like the potties everywhere is confusing? Like there's only one place that you have to end up going, and that is into the bathroom to go.
Well, very confused. And I mean, you're in line, like, I don't care, whatever, but you're in line waiting to do something and then just like, oh, hold up the line because our kid has to go to the bathroom.
Now, but let's rewind this and look at it from a different camera angle here. Carly, what if I told you at any given moment, when you had to go to the bathroom, you could just gaze at a giraffe eating eucalyptus leaves off a tall tree. Wouldn't that be better?
So peaceful, I guess.
Yeah, right? That's what I'm looking at. Like,
I guess I would also wonder, like, is he going to get used to it and want people around to watch him? Like, I'm going to wait to go.
Well, flat screens
until I
are
have a
pretty
big
cheap.
crowd.
You could run the Animal Channel, the Animal Planet in the bathroom. Just wire that up, throw a Roku stick in it. Next thing you know, hey, you guys want to watch, some elephants grazing? For sure. Let's go to the potty.
Okay.
I'm telling you, there could be something
I mean,
here.
what do you do? What do you do next time where, like, you can't just, like, you're not standing in line just waiting to...
Yeah. Like you're at
like,
Target.
everyone has time right now. Then, yeah.
Right.
Well, you cross that bridge when you're
in,
12.
Like, in the chip aisle, just like, oh, we got to go to the bathroom.
Hi, I'm calling about the deuce question.
Yes, thank you for calling about the deuce question. What would you be watching if you could only watch one thing the rest of your life while you were on the toilet? What would it be?
National Geographic.
Okay, because it's always switching it up and you're learning something while you're getting something that you have to do done. So I get the method. That's
Right.
good.
They have series, they have documentaries, they have informational stuff, and they got a little bit of everything.
You know what I
So
love
use.
doing? Like Liam and I will watch those movies like Our Planet, stuff like that, and I'll shut off the volume
Yep.
and we'll put voices to the animals. It's one of,
Oh,
if
that's
I had to
fun.
say I had a talent, that would be it.
And what's more calming than watching a bald eagle soar while you got a turtle head poking out?
Right? Unless he's going after that turtle.
That got weird. All right, thank you. Have a great morning.
You too.
You've got to Brie kidding me.
Oh my God, did you hear this? If it's happening in Hollywood, we're talking about it.
It was a cheese joke. Brie is one of my favorites. Anyway, so on Wheel of Fortune last week, Ryan Seacrest face planted while chasing a fake wheel of cheese, and Vanna was like disturbed.
I found my new favorite festival. It's called Gloucestershire Cheese Rolling Festival in the UK. And participants race down a hill chasing after a wheel of cheese, but in the end, you get the cheese. So what could be better?
You ready to try it?
I was born for this.
Here we go.
Oh my God, embarrassing.
Are you going to be okay? Yes, he's going to be okay.
Now, I think it was kind of hokey myself, but he committed to the bit, and
Yeah.
he went down, and I think it was all planned, but I'll give it to Seacrest. He committed to the bit, and he went for it, so kudos to that
He
guy.
runs weird.
He runs like he's never been an athlete. I mean, he does. I mean, I think the guy
It was
got
a
his
weird
radio
run.
start when he was like 16, so
He
I
ran
don't
like
think-
he was about to get the last clue of a mystery, you know, like, where he's like knees out first. It was weird.
We were just kind of going over the first hour of our show today with understanding that it really can only get better. And I was trying to maybe bullet point the first hour of our show today with a headline. If you could come up with a quick headline or a tease, what would it be, Kat?
Well, I can't say swear words. I'd say show.
Okay.
Maybe confused. Confused? Question mark?
Yeah, it was uncatered weirdness.
Yeah, just a lot of confusion. By
And then I came
listeners,
across
me.
this headline, and I went, oh, the first hour of this show wasn't so bad today. The headline, raccoon versus homeless guy with a flaming mop.
Oh my God.
All right, so here's the deal. Police and fire in Quincy, Illinois, shared a statement about a structure fire that happened yesterday morning. They were confused about how the fire started because the house was empty and the utilities were all turned off. After a brief investigation, they found out that a homeless guy had been living there and camping out. Turns out he had a candle burning for heat. When a raccoon walked onto the porch, the homeless man got agitated, so he threw the candle at the raccoon, which caught a mop on fire. Then he tried to scare the raccoon off the porch like it was a torch. The fire spread and burnt down his homeless encampture.
Who has the right to be mad here? Like, that's the raccoon's, stomping ground.
But the guy
Torches.
was living there. Who gets the burnt down property? The coon or the guy?
If I were a raccoon and I stumble across somebody, in an area
There's
that
no
I'm
rules
used to,
with
nobody.
raccoons. There's no
We've
rules.
learned that. We've learned that. But I would still be like, what the hell are you doing? Get get out of here. And I would take my little raccoon people hands and I'd make sure that I get the message across. You don't belong here. Kick rocks. Grab your little knapsack.
But that
on
guy's
your
got a
stick and get going.
he's got a flaming mop. How do you attack a man with a flaming mop? So no matter how bad you think your morning is going,
could be
unless
worse.
You could characterize it as a raccoon versus homeless guy with a flaming mop, you're doing all right. We realized a couple years ago that Kat has this ability to tell you what you do for a living if you just give us your first name. It would happen a lot of times. We'd say, hey, good morning, it's Kat and JJ. What's your name? Oh, it's Becky. Oh, Becky, how do you like being a teacher? And I'd be like, what? Do you know her? And she'd be like, no, I'd never met her before. So the rules kind of go like this. If you don't know Kat, like you don't go to her church, your kids don't play ball together or something like that, then call and just give us your first name and we'll try this out. And what's yours?
Tina.
Tina, just Tina. But is it Christina?
Yep. It is Christina.
Okay. Tina, you're going a mile a minute, giving me some anxious feelings. Tina, you are a house cleaner?
I own my own business, yes.
Wow, all right.
And you do house cleaning. So I want to know, what's your rate? Like if you were to come in and do 2 bathrooms and a kitchen, how long would it take? How much?
Probably about an hour and a half. I charge $50 an hour, so
that is an insane deal.
Yeah, I know. It didn't take me very long to start my business. It about 2.5 months I've had it going, and I've just been flying. I've been going and going and going. That's why I'm on my way to my first job of the day. So,
well, Tina, what's your? I'm going to get your phone number off air because I'd love to employ you.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, listen, if you're good at cleaning up poop and other stuff, you're going to want Kat's job.
Don't go trying on my underwear, girl.
How do you know this?
It's weird. It's just like a symbol. That's what I see, a symbol, and then I just go with it. And 99% of the time, I'm right. So it's the work from home ones, though, that kind of trip me up.
All you got to do is give us your first name. Sometimes we'll need a spelling, and then we'll see how this goes. So what's yours?
Corrine.
Corine, you want to spell that? Just because I know there's a couple of different spellings, and this kind of throws Kat off sometimes.
Sure. It's Corinne.
Okay.
2 N's. Oh, I almost got this wrong. All right, Corine. Corine?
Yeah.
Corine. You do you work with properties? Are you a property manager or something like that?
Yes.
Holy cow. So how many properties do you manage, Corine?
Right now, just 2.
Okay.
But they're 100 units apiece.
Oh, my God. So you've got 200 properties.
Yeah.
What's the toughest part of this job?
Maybe right now, just being able to get everything done that everybody wants, like making sure everybody feels heard.
Yeah, it's kind of on demand, right? When they need something fixed, they need it now.
Yeah.
So a relative of mine worked in the front office of an apartment complex, and the excuses she heard for can't pay my rent this month, the stuff that she saw that, how parents parented, it really kind of broke her soul.
Yeah, and it can. I've been doing this since 2011, so it can really break you some days.
I want you to do me a favor real quick. Okay. Grab your phone and get ready for this. I want to see what your alarm times are. Mm-hmm. Now, I believe that there is an antisocial behavior that borders on psychosis if you don't have alarms set for either 00 of the hour, 15 after, 30 after, 45, or 00 again. What time are your alarms set for? Are they weird and wonky numbers?
So my morning alarm is 3:45.
Okay, that's normal.
Okay. 9:55 for an appointment I have Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. I have to call a client. So that's just giving me 5 minutes of leeway.
That's normal.
10:10 gives me enough time to get my stuff together on Mondays and get to the break room for our meeting.
Okay.
And then 3:20 gives me enough time to nap for an hour in the afternoon and then get up, do some chores, and go get Liam. So they're weird, obscure numbers, but they mean something.
But it's not like 3:12
no,
or 4:27. Those, are you all right today?
No, I'm not.
What's the deal? You're unraveling on me.
Have you ever been so overstimulated or like moms know if you hear too many noises at the same time, you become like a raging bee?
That's very odd. Because dads don't know that at all.
You're just always raging bees. No, it's just overstimulated stuff falling and this isn't cold anymore, You think you have problems.
I'm going to give Kat a minute to pull
Walk
it together.
a mile.
But I want to hear from you. Do you have weird alarm times on your phone? Like, 8:12, 3:26. Why is that? Why can't you be normal? I was looking through my wife's alarms on her phone just to kind of see when she gets up, how many snoozes she hits. Because on the weekends, she'll snooze all the time. 4, 5, 6 snoozes.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't think I've ever used the snooze button in my life. Even when I was in college and you got to get up real quick, boom, I would just go. I am under the impression, and the more you grow old, the more you start trying to figure everyone out, and it's probably a fruitless journey. But I believe that you have an actual problem if you have weird alarms set. Mm-hmm. If you set your morning alarm for 5:47, I think you're a nut. If it's set for 6:33, you're just weird. Why aren't you going by the quarter hours?
Yeah, there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a method to it. Or like psyche, if I wake up at 6:23, then I have 2 minutes to lay here and get my thoughts together.
Are you really that desperate for another 2 minutes?
Listen, I live with a child that thinks 5 minutes is a lifetime. You ask him to do something, he's like, just give me 5 more minutes to do whatever he's doing. And to him, like, I'm thinking, what are you going to do in that 5 minutes that you can't just get up and do what I'm asking?
Hey, Brenda, I saw your text. You got a lot of weird numbers on there. Why?
Well, they're different because I don't always like to nail it right on the time. When you scroll through to choose which time you pick up, if I have to wake up at 8 o'clock, I don't want to wake up that early. So I'm trying to work my way to getting up then.
See, why don't you just get up? I don't understand this. Help me understand this.
I try to go what's the latest, so then I don't have to hit my snooze, because then I don't go back into REM for 10 minutes of snooze time. I've learned I used to, when I was in my early 20s, hit snooze 10, 12 times. I mean, that's crazy.
There's nothing that makes me more anxious than being late. I'm always 15 minutes early for something. It drives me crazy that you guys are living this way. Dawn, what's the situation? You're a wonky alarm person too, right?
My alarm is set at 6:13 a.m.
All right, so why is the question?
Well, my power went out one day, and I was resetting it, and I got distracted and just left it.
That makes sense, I guess. I mean, but why don't you correct that? Why doesn't it be 6:15?
If it works
or
for
6
somebody, just let them do it,
James, what's the tale here?
I have to set my alarms for every 5 minutes, and I set 10 to 12 of them.
Oh, wow.
So anytime you have to get up?
Anytime I have to get up, yeah.
All right, there's got to be a story behind this.
Because I'm a heavy sleeper, and I will not wake up. And also, my husband does things to annoy me, and it pisses him off.
Well, that's good. All right, so it's serving a couple of purposes. Are you just a weird alarm person? Do me a favor. Grab a screenshot of your alarm and drop it in on our Facebook page. I've got it posted there. I just want to know who are the weirdos that are listening to this.
All right, so this woman went viral and didn't have time to talk about it yesterday. Just wanted to get your take on it if you are a mom that has young daughters, or, I don't know, you just have an opinion on bikinis on young children. So she actively went to this website, ordered a swimsuit from this website, and I would assume that there's a photo that you look at when you're going to order it. So I can't imagine it's any different than what you see in the photo. But she opened it and she's like, this is a crazy bikini.
So I ordered a bikini from this brand, but I opened this and I'm so sorry. Call me a prude, I guess. Call me old school, but I'm not going to lie. I do think this is a crazy top for a baby. Size 12 months. What baby needs scrunch butt bottoms, and little tiny string bikini tops?
I agree. She had to have seen it.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. If you ordered a one-piece Speedo, you know exactly what it looks like. There was a mom that went viral the other day. She was at, I don't know if it was Target or where, but she was holding up these baby swimsuits, and they have the cutouts on the side, like you'd see at spring break. And she's like, why is this necessary for a 2-year-old to have cutouts on her swimsuits? And so the owner of this company is like, listen, don't make this clickbait stuff because we know what you're doing. You know exactly what you got yourself into.
There's basically a customer who I think is using a situation kind of to get popularity on TikTok. I don't know like where she's going with this, or where I draw the line here is just I normally don't answer a different of opinion because I am not for everybody. Our swimwear is not for everybody, but you are attacking a brand that we have worked so hard to build. I feel the need to defend myself, defend my brand and our integrity. I wish that all of these people would start a conversation with me. I wish that they knew me, because if they did, this would not be their opinion of me or my brand.
Again, if you buy a chair that you see online and you get that chair, you can't complain about that chair.
Exactly. Unless the chair comes broken. The swimsuit did not come broken. The straps were all there. It was just maybe in person. You were like, whoa, what did I do? Then you return it. You don't put a company on blast because it takes a lot to keep a company going.
So as somebody who, and when my daughter was a little itty bitty girl, we put little swimsuits on her all the time. We had little bikinis on her, and it was cute. I never worried about the pervs, right? Like that was never a thought that went through my head.
That's
like
because those aren't thoughts that go through your head.
If we go through go to a community pool or something like that, like I was never like, oh my God, there's some pervy guy watching from through the bushes. Like, yeah. I just never. But there are that way. Whatever. I mean, what am I going to do about it? I can't stop it.
Exactly. There's nothing you can do. Some people say, well, yeah, there is. Dress your baby modestly and for their age, but there's nothing cuter than one of those big puffy baby bellies with a polka dot bikini on and a scrunchy butt. It's not like she has one of those thong.
Right, I get it. It's not a thong, but I mean, it's a baby, so you really don't have to cover much up either. You know what I mean? They're like a little girl. They're not like a 17 or 18-year-old girl.
I also think as a mom, logistically, you got to run to the bathroom or change the diaper. It's much easier than having one of those full-on, full-body swimsuits, but some people will still say that it's just not age appropriate to dress your child in a bikini at that age.
If you got a thought on this, will you share it with us real quick? Kevin Bacon says, I can't let people play Footloose at their wedding dance because it's not about me.
The star at the wedding is the bride and the groom. Oh. So if you go to a wedding, it starts out cool, and then the drinking starts, and at about 10 o'clock, the DJ plays that song. People kind of form a circle around me and start clapping like I'm like a trained monkey. Yeah. You know? I mean, and expect me to, do a thing. And my feeling is I'm not the focus here.
But you are. You're Kevin Bacon. You're at somebody's wedding. You're Kevin Bacon.
It's kind of a big deal. Exactly. And like if Britney were at a wedding, they'd play like "Oops, I Did It Again" or whatever.
You have to, right?
You just have to as a guest for the bride. But what was that one song where you told the DJ, "Do not"? I am the one paying you. Do not play this song. What is it?
For us, nothing was off limits. You didn't want which one?
I didn't know. I shouldn't have wanted. I knew the bride when she used to rock and roll. Derek has an uncle, Larry, his mom's brother. And this man will come up and just flip you, the bride. Doesn't matter if you're wearing underwear or not, what kind of dress you're wearing. He doesn't care. It's tradition for him. And I didn't know that. Nobody told me. And then he did that in the middle of my reception.
How'd that make you feel?
I was taken aback, but I was drunk enough. So it was a good time of night for me to not worry about it.
The number one text that we've been getting for the last 10 minutes when it came to things that were banned from your wedding dance was this.
You know this one?
Why?
These are fun ones.
Who hates the chicken dance, man?
I don't want to be a duck, so I take my rump, bump, 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 bump.
Who does it?
It's a classic. And if there are kids at your wedding,
exactly.
I mean, they eat it.
And old people can do it too, right? They can even do it from their chair.
They can.
Like, cluck, 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 cluck.
Everyone can be involved.
You have your wedding, and I get it's your day. And if you have a DJ, you tell them don't play certain songs. But, there's got to be a heavy reason. A lot of these songs are just fun. And was this your wedding, Josh?
Not mine, but a wedding that I DJ'd, they had no group songs.
You couldn't have Bon Jovi or Aerosmith or Def Leppard.
Or the Cupid Shuffle. All the group, the Cupid Shuffle kind of dance.
You're saying not necessarily performed by groups, but ones that groups got together for.
Yeah.
Well, that's stupid.
I wonder why.
The bride didn't want them, and that was probably one of the most requested I had that night. It's everybody kept coming up, play the Cupid Shuffle, play the Cupid Shuffle. I'm like, It's on my band list. I can't.
Well, I just don't know why you would do that. That's a fun song. Like, heaven forbid you get a whole bunch of people having a good time.
Yeah, I would say if there's a song that reminds you of an ex or something like that, yeah, don't have that at your wedding. Last thought that should be in your head. But think about everybody as a whole. Do you have kids coming? You should work in some fun stuff. Or I mean, if they're a really good DJ and they come recommended, they know what they're doing. They know how to pack a dance floor. So I would say go with it.
Because I Got High by Afro Man. Who doesn't want that as the father-daughter dance?
Right.
I mean, come on, let's get with it.